So, when I was watching The Last Dance, one of the things that was popping into my mind was who is closest to playing just like Michael Jordan in the last 20 years? And of course, everyone's going to make the comparison to LeBron James. But, of course, he's not better than Michael Jordan. I know that might trigger a lot of you out there, but he's not. Jordan has been always better, always will be better. And it's not down to the rings perspective. I know a lot of people like to go to that first. Oh, Michael Jordan has 6 rings, never lost in the finals. LeBron's been to like 8 straight, only won 3. I'm not going to jump to that conclusion. What LeBron has done in his career is impressive. I'm not going to take that away from him. I'm not necessarily a LeBron hater, but Michael Jordan is better. But what I go to is how dominant Jordan was against any team he faced. He was that valuable to the team to where if he wasn't playing or he wasn't there, the team wouldn't do well. And it showed in those 2 years when Jordan retired and played baseball. Now, I know LeBron is also just as valuable to all 3 of his teams, technically 4 if you count when he went back to Cleveland, because it was a different team. And that if LeBron wasn't there, the team wouldn't be well, or be good. Now, he did have a super team in Miami with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, as we all know. In his first stint in Cleveland, he was the only guy. His second stint in Cleveland, he kind of had another super team again with Kyrie and Kevin Love. And now his run with the Lakers, his first season with the Lakers, it was just pretty much him. But now he's got Anthony Davis. Who knows if Anthony Davis is going to re-sign with them this offseason? Who knows who they're going to add, replace, whatever. But he's got another superstar with him right now. Michael Jordan never had multiple superstars ever on his team. He had all-stars on his team. So there is a slight difference. Kyrie is a superstar. Anthony Davis is a superstar. When Dwayne Wade was playing in Miami at the same time as LeBron was, Dwayne Wade was considered a superstar by most people because he was, at that time, one of the best shooting guards in the league. Top 2, top 3, definitely a top 5 shooting guard. So you can consider him a superstar or at least a high all-star caliber player. Okay, Scottie Pippen was never considered to be a superstar. People now might look him as that. Dennis Rodman was never a superstar. Was he considered an all-star? Maybe. He was just a very good rebounder. Now, I know Dennis Rodman was only there for the last couple of championships, and when you go back to the first 3, they had Horace Grant and just a bunch of other guys. And, teams change. But Jordan was pretty much the only superstar ever on any of the teams that he was on. So even though he had some good help, as you do need. So here's the other thing. To be successful in basketball in the NBA, you do need a good team. It's really hard to be good with one person. You do need at least a good solid bench, and you do need some supporting guys who can help you out. Now, the one year that Kyrie left Cleveland to Boston in that trade, and when Kevin Love was still on the team but just injury prone and never played, and LeBron carried them as a 4th seed, I think they were, to the conference finals. No, actually to the finals still. That was impressive. It was. He was pretty much the only player on that team with very little help around him. So I will give him that. But Jordan pretty much did that every single year he was on the team. So, but enough of that. But one of the things I was thinking about is, like I said, who's closest to Michael Jordan? Now, of course, I was basically thinking about shooting guards, small forwards, people who play roughly the same position that Jordan kind of played, and who were the same height or close to it. Jordan, I think, was 6'6", and he was, of course, a shooting guard. So I know small forwards, he never played small forward, but some small forwards are roughly around his height and have the same kind of playing style. So I'm considering just those 2 positions. And I'm only talking about players who were playing in the 2000s. So since 2000 to right now, currently. And I was looking, and like there's not one single player out there in my eyes that is equally as good as Jordan. Honestly, LeBron is not. And there's two players, one that is like the same offensive insane as Jordan was. And there's one player I have in mind that's like the same defensively killer as Jordan was. The player who I think has the closest offensibility, I don't know how to phrase it, is, in my opinion, Kevin Durant. And I say that for a couple reasons. One, Kevin Durant, when he was that 1 year he was with the Supersonics, and then his entire career with the Thunder, and his little 3-year stint in Golden State. And we haven't seen him yet in Brooklyn, but next year, hopefully we do see him. He's pretty much been the same offensive guy. He won a scoring title 1 year, MVP, all great. He is probably, in my eyes, just as clutch as Jordan was. Now, I know LeBron is pretty clutch. I know that. But Durant has a different style of clutch than LeBron. Now, I'm not the biggest KD fan, so I'm not like sucking up to KD because I'm like his number one fan. I used to be when he was on the Thunder, but that's a long story. But KD just has the ability to take over a game with his jump shot. LeBron can too. I'm going to be comparing LeBron because everyone out there is going to be saying, well, LeBron is offensively and defensively the same as Michael Jordan was. And I'm going to tell you why not. So KD has the ability to take over a game offensively any day of the week. He has one of the best three-point shots, someone his height. Now, I know he's not the same height as Jordan, so it's a little bit of a stretch here, but that really doesn't matter. Height doesn't necessarily matter. If you can turn a game the completely other direction, regardless of your height, you'll be easily able to be compared. But KD has an unstoppable jumper. Of course, it's stoppable, but you get what I'm saying. It's the mid-range, the floaters, the buzzer beaters, the three-pointers, those insane clutch shots, catch and shoot, inbound pass, one dribble, pull up, the list of all the type of offensive shots that KD can make that Jordan also is able to make is insane. They pretty much make a lot. Now, I know KD is a better three-point shooter than what Jordan was, but Jordan could still hit the three. But Jordan was known for hitting a lot of clutch shots, as we all know. KD probably is not known for that, but he has. I've seen it personally in games when he was in the Thunder and also when he was on the Warriors. So I have seen it, and most of you probably have too. So I just think KD can take over a game just as much as Michael Jordan could. And I still think he can do that. LeBron wasn't able to do that necessarily, and I think KD also, to add to my point, was able to do that his entire career when he first starting to like this current day, which would be most likely next season when he actually plays. Like, he's been able to do that his entire career. LeBron, on the other hand, not really. Like, it's one thing when you have other players to take the clutch shot for you. Of course, Game 7 of the Finals, 2016, Cleveland won. Kyrie made that three-pointer that pretty much won Cleveland the game. Sure, I know LeBron got that block on Iguodala, whatever, but Kyrie hit the clutch shot. Clutch block, but clutch shot. Ray Allen hit that 1-3 in the one finals when he was on the Heat, when LeBron was on the Heat against the Spurs. Ray Allen hit that corner three. He hit the clutch shot. So, and I know, especially when Durant was on the Warriors, Curry and Thompson were hitting some clutch shots. And even when he was on OKC, Russell Westbrook would have a couple clutch shots every now and then. But Durant has been known as a clutch shooter, a clutch performer. So that's why, in my eyes, he is just equally as probably the best offensive player we've ever seen, kind of since Jordan, at the small forward shooting guards position. Well, I should just say, well, yeah, I can say both of those positions because I'm comparing him to Jordan. He kind of has a similar playing style, just like 5 inches taller. Now, the person who I think is just like Jordan defensively, now this player is listed as a small forward, but he can play shooting guard because his height's like 6'8", and it's Paul George. Now, that might not come to a lot of your minds first as like someone who's defensively just as talented as Jordan was, but I was thinking about it, and this is kind of why I thought Paul George. Paul George is kind of a good mix of both offense and defense. He is very clutch offensively, and he can be very clutch defensively. During Paul George's entire career, he's always been known as a 3-and-D guy and an elite perimeter and interior, well, not really interior, but perimeter defender for sure. That's why when he and Kawhi joined the Clippers, everyone thought that the Clippers were going to be unstoppable on defense. We haven't really seen that in play because both of them haven't been healthy together. But anyways, Paul George is really good defensively. He's one of the best defensive non-centers in the league. You could probably actually call him one of the best just overall defensive players, even including centers in the league. But, he has the same height to Jordan, roughly, so... and Jordan was a good defender. A lot of people may not know, but he really was. And I actually learned a lot more about his defense from watching the footage that they showed in The Last Dance. And a lot of that stuff kind of just remind me of Paul George. Even though it may not remind a lot of you guys of Paul George, it kind of did to me. And Paul George is a very kind of underrated, overlooked, I should say, player from the standpoint of comparing him to some of the greats. The 2 years he was on the Thunder, I really also got to see a lot more of his game because I didn't really see a whole lot of him live, like on live TV when he was in Indiana. So it was really until he came over to Oklahoma when I was watching my team play that I would actually watch him play. And I would actually see what a lot of people were talking about. So Paul George, in my eyes, defensively is equal to Jordan. And I, again, am saying this in the aspect of people who were playing the same position as Jordan, people that have been playing the last 20 years, and the people that have a similar height to Jordan. I know I'm going to probably be sounding like a hypocrite because I just compare KD when it looks like a foot taller, but you kind of got my point. Now, again, this wasn't really like a jab at LeBron at all. Again, I'm not a LeBron hater, but, LeBron's a really good player and all. He's one of the best players to ever play the game, but he's not Michael Jordan. He probably won't ever be Michael Jordan. And all in all, it's just impressive when you win 6 championships with one team. Instead of winning 3 with 2 other teams. Even though he's been playing for 3 other teams, he won the 1 in Cleveland, then 2 in Miami. So technically he won 3 championships with 2 teams so far. We'll see if he ever wins one in LA. But, it's more impressive when you can win 6 championships with one team, And, even if Jordan didn't retire, Jordan would have probably gone to 8 straight finals just like LeBron did. And, of course, everyone says if he didn't retire those 2 years, they would have probably won 2 more championships and it would have been 8. So, but that's just my kind of thoughts because I was thinking about that a lot when I was watching The Last Dance. It was just like, who do I think out of the last couple of decades, shooting guard, small forward players, who's the closest to Michael Jordan, both offensively and defensively? And of course, I don't think not one single person has both attributes. So that's why I had to kind of break it down to 2 different players. But you guys probably won't agree, and I'm not expecting all of you to agree, of course, but let me know who you think. If you think anyone's... Now, again, like I said, no one is close to Jordan. Not one single person is just like Michael Jordan. And a lot of you are going to say LeBron, of course. But if you have like 2 people like I just did that are, one's offensively just as good as Jordan, one's defensively just as good as Jordan, let me know. But if you do list someone, just list someone that was like playing since 2000. I'm not going back in time because, again, there are a lot of great players out there that played before Jordan and kind of like during Jordan that I wasn't really talking about. So if you are going to list someone in the comments, just list someone that was playing since like 2000 and on. So hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know when the next video is going to be. I'll see whenever I get the time and what there is to talk about. I might actually talk about the reopening of the practice facilities for NBA teams and my thoughts on how the offseason might go and how the rest of the regular season might go if they decide to cancel that or go on with it, whatever. So I might make a video on my thoughts about that. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.